Good evening, good evening, good evening again. I'm just getting myself situated here. And this, of course, is the Shake Up with Dr. Kid. Just want to thank you all for just being here again. We've been going on, we're going to be coming up on about a year in just a little bit. And it's been very successful. We've got some good feedback from a lot of people. And not only about the quality of the show, but also the content of the show. Yeah, sometimes, we do have some electronic mishaps here and there because, this is not this is not perfection. We're just here to do the best we can, working along with technology to get us out around the world. And so we just want to thank you so much for being a part of this. And of course, this month is Black History Month, as we celebrate it here in the United States, if you're listening from other parts of the world. And this is February. So throughout this whole month, I've dedicated it to the history of the Black diaspora, those of us who were taken from the motherland through our foreparents who were forced to come to other parts of the world, and some of the atrocities that they went through, some are documented, some are not. And so we're not necessarily going to get into all of that, but, we kind of coming up to modernity, some of the more modern things, and we'll probably touch some of the other things also. So we just want to thank you for being here on the Shake Up, just hanging here with us for about the next 45 minutes or so. If it gets real sweet, we might go over, but listen, we're just thanking you for just being on here anyhow. And we have a good show for you tonight. And as always, I like my guests to introduce themselves. A couple of reasons, it's important for people to tell you who they are, as opposed to us telling you who we think they are based on information that we receive about them. So that's the way we do it here as the young folks say. That's the way we roll. So welcome to the Shake Up with Dr. Kit. Listen, on this show, we'd like for you to do a few things. We'd like for you to like, follow, share, and subscribe. That's the lifeblood of this show. Like, follow, share, and subscribe. Share it, listen all over the place so that as many people as possible can come in and be a part of this. We deal with some real life stuff. We deal with important issues, and these are all talking about important issues about how we feel about ourselves and certain things that we do in life and why we do what we do. Okay, so like, share, follow, and subscribe. And also, gotta forgive me, I got a little bit of thing going on with my throat here this evening. Okay, if you'd like to be a part of the show, to be considered to be a part of the show, please email my team at drkidspeaks@gmail.com. That's drkidspeaks@gmail.com. And we will be sure to get you on the program, because what you have to say is important. If you don't say it, it will not be said. All right, because we are talking about experience, not narrative here. All right. So with that, enough of that now to be considered. Come on by. See my folks, drkidspeaks@gmail.com. All right, we're going to get into the show right now. Today we got an interesting person, got an interesting life, and we got an interesting show for you. So get on the phone and make sure you tell some folks to listen up, okay? All right, so I'm going to bring my guest in like right now. I'm going to fly him in. Oh, man, he landed before I could even get him. Hey. Thank you, sir. How you doing, young Trey? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. How you doing?
Good evening, Dr. K. How you doing, man? I'm okay, man. It's Monday. It's starting to work week. I'm excited. I'm excited that you even invited me.
Hey, man. Listen, don't it's okay to get excited, but everybody's important, okay? Everybody's got a message. You know why I know everybody's got a message? Because everybody has an experience.
Yes, everybody has an experience.
And a person's experience is not subject to the rubrics of science. Okay. A person's experience is never wrong. It always just is. And so And so, because your experience is never wrong, you got something to say, and we want to hear it. Okay, so go ahead, man. Introduce yourself and just tell us what you're going to get into. All right. So we're ready. Go ahead, sir. All right.
Well, good evening, everyone. Hope everybody in the chat is doing okay. I know the All-Star weekend is over. No more Super Bowl. So now it's time to get back on the grind. Yes, Dr. Kidd said, my name is Trey. Hey, I'm just a below the Mason-Dixon line country boy who just put things in perspective early in his life and just worked hard and went through the options I've had. Love my people around me. Appreciated those that helped me, and just living life right now. I'm just living life. So I've had some ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster, but it's only been my roller coaster ride. So, and I'll get into a little bit more as we go, as Dr. Kidd, get into my head a little bit. But hey, life is still good if you want it. Life is still good if you want it. Just go get it right now.
Listen, I'm glad you talked about a roller coaster ride back into something that I believe, a roller coaster, you don't have just one person on a roller coaster. You know that, right? A whole bunch of people on a roller coaster. And do you know that if there are 100 people on a roller coaster, we have 100 experiences, everyone different from the other. So your experience is very, very important. Listen, man, I like your backdrop, okay? I really do.
Appreciate you.
That'd be a good place to start, I think. Your backdrop, I see you have a military backdrop behind you. And so I'm going to ask you, in this Black History Month, okay? Not necessarily get into that yet, but we'll get there. But why, and the importance of you having that backdrop behind you of some picture of military soldiers, your compadres, as they say, just some folks that you hung out with, or however. Talk about that.
Well, in reference to the picture, I look at all of us Buffalo soldiers who have served, regardless from the Civil War to even today, even though it's not, I don't know, no war is really good, but if you join the service, then, you take advantage of all the opportunities. And, it's a lot of brothers that fought hard. It's a lot of brothers that died. Shout out to the ancestors. My father served. It's people I know serve, good friends I've made. It's like, it's a lot about the military, and everybody represents, regardless of what branch. It's 4 branches, and you can go in and get 700 jobs that you can take out and build a life and a family with from the military. So other than that, you go to college and sit behind a desk and let some of these instructors steer you the wrong way. So
come on, man. Whoa, man. You gonna
no, hold up. I got a 4-year degree from Mississippi State. So what I'm saying is, you go to college, you still, you pay a lot of debt too. So you spend 30 years getting out of there. In the military, you instantly come into a little money. You ain't never had money. You instantly come into $20,000, $15,000 within a year or two. So I always support that. And this is today. Back then, it was only like 900, but I went to the Gulf War, came back with a couple of racks. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, hey, so I'm for both military education, whatever it take. If you can learn how to excuse me, I'm not gonna cuss, and I don't really cuss, but I get passionate. But if you can learn how to crochet a quilt, you can create a dynasty for yourself. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So listen, it says that thank you and your family for your service and sacrifice. From Tracy Williams, thank you, Tracy, for doing that. That makes a beautiful segue into something that I was going to say. And Tracy, you basically said it, but let me go ahead and give my spin on this. A lot of times what we get is we have people who applaud the person or persons, the personnels that were enlisted, that were in the military, one of the 4 branches, like you said, and we thank them for their service, and so we should. I'm not downplaying that at all, but in order for you for people who are deployed in war-torn places, no matter the role that they play, okay, they are connected to somebody left back in the safety of somebody's country. Okay, and the people that are left back here in the safety of whatever country, okay, are worried about, are they going to see a uniformed personnel show up at their door or get a phone call, however they do that, you know. And so for them, family people, everybody's got a family. You don't have to be married to have a family, but they come in. And so what I'm saying here is we thank not just the personnels who are over there, wherever over there is, okay, but we also want to thank the family members, the closest support system to every deployed person just happens to be their family members who are left behind. And that I spoke with some military people, and they said that they worry much. It's not the family here worrying about them in the war-torn countries, okay, but it's them worrying about their families back here, because the role that they used to play here, there's nobody playing that role, and sometimes people got to fill in doing double duty here, 2 or 3 different roles here to fill in, so that the family ship, the friendship, can stay afloat. So I do want to thank the family for all that you do to support and make it possible for our soldiers to leave and go and serve with a good mindset. So thank you, sir. And I thank family members. All right. So now let's get into this. So you're from what branch, and what, and how, what led you to that?
I joined the U.S. Army and I was 22. I was a late joiner. I went to college right out of high school. Well, let me just go back. Like I said, coming out, I was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky. Pretty average student in high school. I wasn't the best. I said I didn't apply myself that much. I played basketball, football throughout high schools. Pretty decent. Average about 16 points in basketball. Shot about 65% from the floor. And I like to give these stats older now. I was honorable mention All-State my junior, senior year, and I didn't win a lot of football games, but I played the best I could. I used to kick field goals. I could throw the ball about 60 yards. Went to Morehead State. Called myself, gonna play. But then they had the NFL strike my freshman year, and I hurt my knee, and they took my little scholarship. So I was like, just let me be a student. So I did that. I went to school for about 2 years, and I was thinking smart then. I needed $1,000, but I didn't even ask my parents because I went to college, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting out of my parents' house, so I didn't even pay $1,000. Then I caught myself working, and then it was like a year. I went 2 years, then I dropped out because I didn't want to pay the money. So I caught myself trying to work for about a year and a half. And one of my friends, I didn't know what he was on. One of my good friends. And he had joined the service, but he was on some other stuff. And I talked to him. He's like, yeah, go. So I joined about 8-9 weeks later. Had me a nice little send away party because I talked to my parents. I just tell them, I didn't be like, what you think? And all that, because they had raised me to be independent. So I'm telling them, they're like, okay, cool. So I went on to the service, changed my life, went to Saudi Arabia right after basic training. I planned on staying in because I got a leadership award coming out of basic training, AITs, where you learn your little skill you're going to do. Went to Fort Hood, I was running along the Persian Gulf, man. I was enjoying it. I'm telling you, I've seen a different side of the world. When I came back, my life changed because I used to be around generals and understanding the bureaucracy and how America was really working, how America was really networking. I was like, nah, I just got to take care of myself. And then I got hurt because I had surgery in 95 after my fifth year, I got hurt right in the middle after I re-enlisted. I got hurt and I ended up having back surgery. And I was like, man, I can't stay. I got out in 97, went back to school in Mississippi State. That's where I finished up at 2001. Shout out to my Bulldogs. And the rest was history, man.
Okay,
Came back home. Mom passed in 2003. Yeah, and she was a good friend of mine, and very much respect to me, so I had other siblings and stuff. And, my father, he was always doing his little crazy mess, but he accomplished a lot, but he just wasn't feeding it to me,
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but
So let me ask you. You said you learned a lot about about other people across the world, different situations, different experiences. Okay. But here's a key question though. What did you learn about you that was life changing?
I learned that I could accomplish anything and never take no for an answer and always continue to work and love myself. I love myself first. I love myself. And once I understood, and I've always been a little confident kid, I understood who I was. My daddy was the craziest person I ever know. So, but he taught me a lot on what to do and what not to do. He just gave it to me because since everything he did as a youngster, I did. So when I went across the world, I was only connected to Kentucky, Indiana, those little surrounding, little cities. And when I went to Saudi Arabia, I saw the world because I was able to go to France, the type of unit I was in. I went to Germany. I seen the world and I understood the dynamic. And I used to tell my friends back then, I promise you, I used to tell my friends, America would not be the dominant force it is today in 30, 40 years. They used to look at me like I was crazy.
Okay,
They used to be like,
listen.
but
You said that you talked about seeing the world, Germany, France, and other places that you've seen. Okay, and that is the good thing because they're allied nation, peaceful nation. They're not at war and everything. But you've also seen some stuff and had some experiences as a military person that you not necessarily while you signed up to be in the army. I don't know if you signed up to have those experiences. You understand what I'm saying here?
yes.
So what do you have to tell our people about you, you know, being able to have the other side of the coin, the good side, Germany, France, but then what's it like to be in the bunker, hunkered down, crawling on your belly, trying to dodge bullets, stuff like that.
Listen, when in Saudi Arabia, I was about 80 miles from the combat zone, like the actual, I was in you categorize, I was in the combat zone, but I was like 80 miles, 90 miles from the fighting actually. So,
Okay.
and my unit, it was a small unit. Everybody, if anybody went to Fort Hood, they know the 21st Replacement Unit. They know that unit. It speaks for itself. So if you went to Fort Hood at any time during the 90s, 21st Replacement. I was in that unit, small unit. But we went over, we had four infantry guys. And these guys were bad because they picked a bad location for us to be out. And they would build our little bunkers, but the bunkers, they would only go, it's the trailers that you see now, because a guy invented those trailers back during that time and it just changed the world. They lock in when they go on the flatbed, but they just dug them about 3/4 of the ground. They put it down in there and dug a hole out. It was a hard dirt sand where I was at because I had it good. I was playing balls, had a limit size pool where I was at. It was in the middle of the desert now. That's how great Saudi Arabia is. But that experience, I was shooting basketball, going swimming, play boxing with my buddy, eating hot breakfast, but also had to take a rough shower. We had engineers, so we built a little rough shower, could heat up the water, but and so now building a little bunker, you in there, you like, man, it's could be it right here. You're thinking about stuff like when I get home, I'm gonna do a little better. I need more. I want to do something. You see in life. And, I was talking to sitting down working with Yugoslavians, Czechoslovakians, Iranians, Iraqis. I conversed with these men. Their nickname for me was Big Man. I don't know why I wasn't tall, but I was in shape. In military shape to get you in the best shape in the world. But so you just nervous. Thinking every day I would see two jets about every 30 minutes, just from the time I got up and was moving to nighttime, it'd be 2 jets filled with, because that's how close we were to an airfield. I was around postal workers, all of that. And they would fly out. 30 minutes later, they come back empty. They did it. And I was there for about 3 months.
And that's what they did, just pretty much all day long, just flying over, okay, let's kind of keep in touch. And from Ellen G says, we certainly thank you for your service. And again, and Johnny Sullivan, yes, thank you. Thank both of you for putting it in there. And then Marlo Francis, may you be blessed for your services. You see, you have some really good people here. And thank you all, those of you that are putting some stuff in the chat. We thank you for that. Keep it alive and well, but also allow our veteran here to know that his work and his time was not in vain, even though he said, listen, he was over there having some fun in the desert. But again, being away from family and friends and never know when the next surprise is going to come, it still means that they got to be on on top of things. So when you decided to go into the military, okay, what was it like? And this might be a little bit touchy, so just answer however you want to answer, because we are in Black History Month. Okay, what was it like for you? Because we hear this a lot of places, okay, where unfair. Let me be very discreet. Unfair treatment. I'm going to put it like that. I'm going to call it that. Unfair treatment. Let me massage it. Unfair treatment based on peculiarities. Ooh, did I say that? Yes. Different peculiarities. Yeah, your skin, that's that kind of stuff. Did you as a service person encounter any of that?
Well, Dr. I think I'm a little bit too young for a soldier that may have experienced that type of bigotry and separatism in the military. When I went, it was a little different. I had Black drill sergeants, I had Black instructors, I had Black guys and Black women. I had a female drill sergeant. I'm glad I had her, because she made me even better. It was a white woman, but hey, I think I had a Black drill sergeant. I had a Black drill sergeant, but she had got transferred like 2 weeks in. So I was like, man, so I was left with her. But no, when you go in the military, everybody's on the same level. You see this bald head? I had that in the military. I had that. I had no facial hair. Everybody goes in, and the drill sergeants, Black, white, whatever experience, and I'm speaking for me, but pretty much in basic training, everybody's on level 0. There's nobody getting called out because of their color. They call you out for messing up in the drills and not learning your material. See, the military is everybody strips down to the same look. Everybody's getting up, exercising at 4:30. You running in shorts and t-shirt in 45, 50 degree weather, depending on the weather. And then if you're looking at, a military mindset, you just switch. See, I play sports, so this type of stuff was cool to me. But, from drill sergeants, they're going to get on you for being clumsy, for not studying, not paying attention, doing dumb stuff, trying to sneak and do stupid stuff. That's the military I was in. Everybody, I had white drill sergeants, man. They used to talk about the white boys so bad. They make them cry.
Ooh.
They make them cry. I mean, I had Black drill sergeants talking about, let's go to the woods so we can fight. I'm like, man, what you talking about? It's like, no, man, when you crazy, I'm not gonna do it. But see, they knew me, because I was the only one that they would do like that out of everybody. But they knew me though, because by the end of the 10 weeks, they was like, man, look, wherever you at, man, if we come to your base, because you move around. They was like, man, we gonna come find you. We gonna hang out with you. I'm like, cool, man.
Okay, so let me ask you then. So when cross racial issues, people are talking black, talking about whites talking about black. What did that do for the morale, though? I mean, of the your platoon, your whatever, what did it do for them?
I mean, it wasn't really like that.
Okay.
When I came in, I had a black dress. Shout out to First Sergeant Ewell from Alabama, big dude, big lip. He played ball with us and everything. I had a young captain, white guy, probably about 26. I think, yeah. And I've seen him again, Captain Marks. I had a little best friend from Florida. I remember that. It was just a whole great, once I got to my duty station, because basic training, everybody's the same. And I had a fight in basic training because it was a young white kid. He had looked like he had surgery, and he was probably special needs, but he was just on a level where he can try. And he almost made the military because everybody got to do the same 2 mile in a certain amount of time. I was maxing out my push-ups, I was maxing out my sit-ups, and I was running the 2 miles in like 14 minutes because I wasn't running. I ain't had to run too fast. I had a couple of minutes left just based on, because like I said, I went into 22. I did that. I was playing sports, so I used to wrestle. Well, I didn't want to wrestle. I had to choke some dude out because he wanted to wrestle me. But you just, so I took up for the little kid and nothing happened. And nothing happened. It wasn't no write-ups, it wasn't nothing. So, and then when I got to Fort Hood, my first sergeant, the black guy, a lot of, a couple E6s, E7s, they was black, a couple little white guys. The captain was white, he was young, some little infantry guy. Well, they thought they was infantry, but they was all messed up. And it really with no bad experiences at all. When I went over there, I worked one day and was off 3 days. I was a private. Like I said, I ain't thinking about getting, because I couldn't get my grade, because if I'd have got my grades, I went in as an E3, and I would have been probably a specialist. So, but then, it was all good. I still got my rank over in Saudi Arabia. I was getting no taxes taken out of my money for 6 months. It was the first sergeant, it was one time incident real quick when a sergeant was trying to tell me to do something, but he was telling me to do it wrong. And I was like, Sergeant, this is wrong. And he was like, no, he don't talk back, said, man, it's wrong. So he wanted to get jazzy with me and go to the first sergeant, take me to the first sergeant. And the first sergeant just ate him up. I ain't heard nothing else from him the rest of the time. And I ain't never have a problem after that. Okay. No problem with nobody.
All right. So your experience then is different from other people's experience, where there might have been some unfair characterizations and or unfair treatment based on color in the military. Because when I talk to others, so that's why I'm saying your experience is like that. But when others have a different experience, so it's not system-wide necessarily the same way. So it has to do with a person's experience in there in the military.
Right. I believe it comes down to individual experiences, because, and I'll say this about veterans, and I don't know if they would ever say this up front. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, and this is from what I've seen, again, my experience, if a guy doesn't succeed his full term through the military, he's done something to violate the rules to an extreme. And if he gets a dishonorable discharge, he don't get the benefits when he get out and get older. So yes, you can have a disdain towards that. My father had a disdain towards the military, but my father had served his time. He was drafted. My father was the only child drafted, served his time, got out, got a great job. He worked for Louisville Slugger for 35 years. He was in the reserve. And something happened, my father, I guess he got to drinking too much while he was in. So the military, instead of just saying, okay, you got a drinking problem, then we're going to kick you out, they'll put you in the services. See, they would send them over to you if you was in that field automatically, because they try to fix you first. That's the good thing. They try to fix you first. And then he ain't like it. So when he got out, and I was telling him, my father was eligible for all the benefits. I just try to get him to go get it, but he ain't want to get it. So come to find out, again, he didn't tell me through his sister that he had a drinking problem. Oh, okay. So now they've connected. And even then when I finally got him to go get his little benefits, they gave him a nice little piece of change. Like, man, I should have been there. Did this. Yes, Daddy, you've been out of the military 35, 40 years. You entitled to this. So he ended up getting it in the end. And He was good. But
Yeah.
yeah, just be careful. Like guys, if guys say they had a bad experience, some of them just ask them, did they get a dishonorable discharge? Once you get a dishonorable discharge, you can't retroact nothing back to the military because you did something so egregious, and no, you don't get it. I mean, I knew guys that got together, a white guy and a black guy, young soldiers too, 23, 24. I think, no, one of them just turned 21, the other was 22. Went to the white guy's hometown and they tried to rob a bank with a sawed-off shotgun. Yeah, see, I knew two white guys hung themselves in the room. One guy's parents didn't even know he had joined the service. He in regular duty, so he done went a whole year, and his parents don't even know where he is, and he hung himself.
Okay, so let me ask you this, since you just kind of broached that a little bit, where suicide now is that what's the prevalence of something like that in the military? And again, you're talking from your experience. We're not talking military. Why we're not deprecating the military. I'm just talking from your perspective as an individual person, which is your experience. Which, like I said, no one can tell you that your experience is wrong. Okay, because a person's experience is not subject to the rubrics of science. You're just right. So what I'm saying here is this: when these things happen that people go through, okay, what is it like in the military for for different people? Maybe you can just talk about for going into the military, and how would you explain, or what would you tell some of the younger Black men and women today about going into the military?
Well, it's funny you asked that because I've spent years in education giving the students options of, it's originally 3 E's. Now you can add the 4th E. So enrollment, enroll in a college, university, trade school, enlistment, military, all 4 branches. Now with the new thing, the Space Force. Employment, seek a job of employment. Seek a, what is the word? Apprenticeship.
Okay.
Hardly anybody goes through the apprenticeship. Hardly anybody. You probably get less than 0.5% of people go through apprenticeship. Because it's like working for free, but it still pays itself off. But nobody does that. And now this new thing, the entrepreneurship. But entrepreneurship requires you to have quite a few skills. You got to be able to think logically and not emotionally, because entrepreneurship is dealing with people and learning how to provide a skilled trade. So you can get a skilled trade and still get your entrepreneurship at the same time. That's what a lot of veterans do, because when they go in, now here's the difference. And if I do a college comparison, like I said, the military today, E1, I think, make about $1,700 a month. You just divide that by 2, multiply by 20%, and that'll be your take-home pay. But being in the military, I get free housing, room and board. I'm gonna have to pay for my cable, which I have a roommate, so we can go half on that. I gotta get a cell phone, boom. Then everything else is free. You go buy your own little pizza off base, everything else. You ain't got to pay for no gym membership. You pay minimum for the theater. You got basketballs, volleyball, track. They got swimming. They got every sport you can do. You ain't got to pay for none of that. So that's the benefit. College, yes, you getting say if somebody want to do phlebotomy or something. I don't know if that's a college, major, but in the military, you'll get hands-on within 6 months. You'll work the next 3 years doing phlebotomy. In college, what? You wait till your last quarter semester to do an internship, but you've paid out and you still owe, unless you're in the top 2% to get the scholarship. The military, you can get out in 3 years, and then you have no debt. You can decide anywhere you want to go in the country. And then if you get hurt in the military, make sure you go to the doctor. Make sure they put it in your medical records. Forget what anybody say. So when you get out and your ankle start hurting that you messed up in the military, you can go and apply for your disability and get that in your full-time check. And if you want to go back to school, you make sure you get the GI Bill. Matter of fact, get that anyway. Because if you join out of the state of Indiana, your children get to go to the military for free to any state school. All of this is a benefit for you. You can get a home loan easier, no money down. If you keep your credit right, you can do it all. College, you got this debt over here. Then you got to buy you a new car. In the military, it's a little different. Now, the military ain't for everybody because it's structured. It's structured. If you're a nasty kid, and I'll just be honest, if you like to keep your drawers in a corner and your socks and smelling your room smelling, it's going to be hard for you to adjust because the military requires 100% cleanliness from day one. They want your bed made up. They want your sheets coated. They want your stuff in the drawer neat. You get disciplined with that.
Okay.
You're going to learn how to step in line. You're going to learn how to lead. They're going to make you see these guys. They know how to stand in line. In the military, they teach everybody how to stand in line. And when you see the dude looking down the line right here, like what everybody doing, see where everybody's toes is at, because they give you that. And when you in that line with them brothers, and sometimes you might be in a line with all brothers, and a couple of white dudes, Hispanic, everybody. By the time y'all leave her, y'all really brothers. At least you think you are. You know you got somebody to go to bat with you, because y'all done stood in the rain together. Y'all done walked 5 miles together. You done ate outside, sitting on anthills and fought the same. I mean, you done played fight. It's a lot to go into it once you into it, but the reward on the outside, 3 or 4 years, 5 or 6 years, 10 years, you get out.
Now you talk about some of the benefits of being a veteran or even active military personnel from the military side. Are there, and how about some of the social benefits that you get just because you have an association affiliation with the military, active or otherwise? Are there some social benefits that you get, and do you get all your benefits that accrue to you that you should get?
When you're in the military or get out of the military?
When you get out the military.
Okay, so when you get out, I don't know if it's 2 years or 3 years, but I would always recommend 3 years. And you get 3 years, you automatically qualify for most of everything. If you do
3 years in the military, 3 years in the military.
3 years in the military, any branch, but you must be out honorable discharge or conditions under honorable. That means don't be in there doing dumb shit. That's all. Just mind your business. When you get to your little duty station, just find your a little buddy that's straight up on the straight and up. They like to do the same stuff. And there's so much different stuff you're going to learn. But it's like, what was the question again? What was the question again, man? Because I'm telling you, I talk about this stuff and I got
go ahead and talk what's on your mind, man. I just talk about some of the social benefits. When you come out of the military, as opposed to some of the benefits that while you're in the military, and you said, listen, just do your little 3 years and you get out, don't do anything crazy, make sure you get an honorable discharge and so on and so forth, but I'm just wondering if you have like a military card, and some of this stuff might be pretty elementary to some people, but some people may not know this stuff that I'm talking about.
When you first get out, it depends. Now, see, this is when you sit down and let's just say anybody interested in joining the military, you don't know yet. You can go online right now to army.gov, USA, Navy, it depends. The Air Force, you got to be a little smart. You can't be a DF student. It's going to be a little hard for you to pass the test. They got the ASVAL practice test to do all that. If you're thinking about getting in, you ain't got to go in the next week, but try going in the summertime if you do. But as you go through the military, you pick a skill that'll translate. Once you get out, you can do it in civilian life. That's your benefit. A lot of people join infantry. Ain't nobody running around shooting nobody organized when you get out. But if you like fixing guns and working on guns and all that, you can do all that. You can learn all the skills, truck driving skills. You do all that for free and they pay you. Only thing you got to do is get it on the inside. But as you transition out, now you got to think about, okay, what can I do to continue to elevate my life and my career. You got the GI Bill, you can go to school. You can take the time, you get 4 years, they're gonna pay for it, they're gonna get you $1,500 again a month. You can work, you can do all that, you can get all your financial aid, and if you're smart after the first year, you're making A's and B's, you can apply for the scholarships. You can actually make $10,000, $12,000 a year just going to school and working a baby part-time job. Not something too deep, just some extra money. You can do that. Or you can go to work at a regular job, stand on your feet all day, let somebody tell you to get them boxes, because and it's a transition. It's a transition. Find your place to live, find something modest, nice. You get your military benefits, and depending on what state. See, every state is different. A lot of states in the South are a little different than states in the North and Midwest. Below the Mason-Dixon line, they don't really give you too many benefits. But when you get out of the military, if you're a man or a woman and you ain't got nobody really back home except some cousins or something, man, why not move to Virginia? Why not move to Las Vegas? Why not move to Florida? I mean, just see what states give you the best benefits and go to school there, meet new people. I mean, and once they know you're in the military, then you can always get the benefits. They got hospitals only for veterans. Like I said, they got USAA for you. They good on insurance. I mean, if it comes down to people, I mean, once you go in the military, you meet people from across the world. So at that point, no special person, unless it's your wife. Your wife can go with you. She can get some benefits. You know what I'm saying? If you certain level in your benefit, you can get benefits for your wife. A little extra money on your check. Okay. But you got to get 30%. I advise everybody to do it. If you're not sure, but you want to continue your life, you only got so many options in America. Go to college, join the military, work. What else? What else is it? Entrepreneurship, but what else you gonna do? Create your own. That's entrepreneurship to me. So,
right. All right, man. Listen, let me just
take questions over. You gonna get the questions?
I just wanted to just get when you were first discharged. What are some of the things about civilian life that may have been difficult for you to deal with? In other words, it's good. Thank you, LNG. Really good question. So we're talking here about adjusting back to civilian life, even though you still have a military mindset. Why do I say though you have a military mindset? I made a mistake one time. I had this guy as a client, and he was in the Marines. So out of my mouth came, "Oh, so you're an ex-Marine?" He said, "No, sir." He stopped me cold. He said, "Once a Marine, always a Marine." He said, "There are no ex-Marines."
Right.
So, and I say that because the question. So, was it like for the adjusting back to civilian life? What's up? Any difficulty that you might have had? We're talking about you now, that you might have had with your adjusting back into this side of the coin. So
yeah, one of the, I mean, what was important to me at the time was deciding where you want to get out and housing. You got to find housing for yourself. Just a regular apartment, because you back in the civilian world. Where you want to live, what type of job, all of the stuff that normal people go through. It's like getting out of high school. Like, man, what's next? But you got a little bit more experience. You got a little bit more confidence about yourself. You can, like I said, you can go back to college and think about being in the military. A lot of times, some jobs, they have hiring preferences. So if you just have military experience, you get points for that. Or if you have military and a disability, you get points for that. There's quite a few things. If you snore, your buddy know you snore in the military, go get sleep out, man. You let them know, you snore. Don't go telling them, even though I'm saying it, don't be like, yeah, somebody told me coming. No, shut up and just, hey, I don't know what's going on, and just take care of your business.
Yeah. Listen. I'm going to shut it down in just a little bit, but let me just thank you now, just in case I have amnesia and forget that there, But listen, I really do thank you. But I've done a lot of work with. I shouldn't say a lot of work. I've done work with a lot of military people, both active and otherwise. I remember back in '88, I was working over at I was interning at Fox Army Hospital here in Huntsville
Mm-hmm.
on Redstone Arsenal. And that was quite an experience for me
Mm-hmm.
right there. But you know, this side of being in the military, what has happened? Not me, I wasn't in the military, but just
Right.
this side. Um, what I'm finding from quite a significant number of veterans is the VA care.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to say about that? Can you
I
talk
mean,
about
my experience, like I said, again, my experience, they you have to show up to your appointments. So I'm going to all my appointments. I'm, following recommendations and as much as I can, outside of that. Uh, I don't know. Like I said, some guys, again, if they're not receiving the care, then they may not qualify for the care.
it? Okay.
It don't matter if they're veterans. See, when you hear veterans, especially older guys who know they was on some BS when they was in, just didn't want to abide by it. Now they need those benefits, and they see that. And if you got it already on documentation that you was not an Article 15, but like a dishonorable discharge, that's what really disqualifies you. And if somebody say the veteran, just ask them that, because then they know that they don't qualify, and they may not have took advantage of the skills that they made also when that they had when they got out. Brothers was getting good skills. I know a lot of old guys that had good skills when they got out. Now, a lot of everybody who took advantage of it and got out on the honorable discharge, they've been okay. The guys that got out on dishonorable discharge, and they didn't take advantage of the skill, because even if you get a dishonorable discharge, you can still get the skill trade that you learned in the military.
Okay.
But those guys now, it's always an issue technically, and you can't even really get no VA card because you dishonorable discharge. All that's in your record. When they pull up your name and your VA file number, all that shows up, whether you got a dishonorable discharge and all that.
So your dishonorable discharge then will impact the quality and quantity of service that you receive, when you're out of the military.
Yes, a lot of the benefits, a lot of that.
Yeah, benefits. Yeah. See, I didn't understand that. I want to thank you for letting
Yeah.
letting me know that, because some of the guys that I was talking with, they never said whether or not they were dishonorably discharged, which would then, like what you're saying, make a difference in terms of the quantity and the quantity of service that they receive. But then you also said something else. You said that you show up for all your appointments. And so now we're talking about a personal responsibility for the care of the self. And if it doesn't happen, you can't always blame the other person or the organization for not being there for you. I like that. Being there for yourself is almost like a first rule of life. It is not selfish. It is self-preservation.
Right. And the two things really quick.
Yeah.
The Army, any military, it's like all the branches go to the veteran hospital. It doesn't matter what branch you serve. Everybody's walking around with a veteran in Vietnam and they Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine hat. Everybody got their jackets. Especially the old cats. I like seeing them with their jackets and whatever stuff they had made. And you all go in there and they all understand that, the VA does that, because once you receive the care, it's quality care. I get the top technology performed on me. They do that for you. You know what I'm saying? And they pay you to travel there. So that's a good benefit. It's just that, if once you understand that about somebody complains about it, that's where you are. But I did want to answer this question from Tracy Williams. She said, what are the options for military enlistment for students who might have some type of previous encounters with the law enforcement?
Okay,
it's a few ways. You have to understand what the charge is, or if they were convicted. Charge is one thing, convicted. If it's convicted as a felony, find out what type of felony, what level. Also, if you meet with a recruiter, some felonies disqualify you, some don't. And one of the key things is, if you don't have anything pending, let's just say you did something to break the law, you were stealing or something, and you were convicted, and they fined you and gave you 6 months probation. That doesn't stop you from joining the military. Only thing you got to do is when you meet with a recruiter, that's the first thing you say out of your mouth. My son, or son, if he's talking, let the son talk. If he wants to go, he'll talk. If not, you just pushing it too hard. Listen, I got in trouble with the law. I did 6 months probation. He gonna go look at it in the computer. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, you still good. You can still go." And then they're gonna set you up, and you just take the ASVAB, study for the ASVAB. You can go on the ASVAB test, study the questions, learn the tool, start taking the information around you. That like just read a couple of how-to books. That'll teach you a lot. And you sit down, you take the ASVAB. Depending on your score, it'll give you a list of options of jobs. Now I know at 22 they were giving $30,000 if you went in to be a fireman. Now to see, it take a brave brother right there. It ain't no just regular walking with your pants down type brother. It take a brother with his chest up because it takes a different. But it's a $30,000 bonus on top of your pay. They give you learn how to be a fireman. About 11 months in, you're gonna have your duty station, and you're gonna know where you're going. You're gonna graduate. They're gonna give you $15,000 to go start giving to all the biggers in your family and all the friends. Don't let them know you got it though. And then you get to your duty station. It's going to be a whole different environment. You're going to be a fireman, just like a regular fireman outside on your street. And you're going to be the best damn fireman you can be. Go up in your ranks. If you decide to get out in 6 years, for 3-4 years, okay, you get your rank. If you get hurt, cool. If you don't, especially being a fireman, it's a risky job. You can finish out the time, get your rank. If you get out in 10 years, you take 10 years experience, you probably make about $80,000 to $100,000 as a fireman. And if you're really good, you be like the leader, the fire captain, the fire chief, you get out, they're going to have to pay you top salary. It might take you a few years, because understand, not a lot of brothers are trying to do stuff like that. I'm just giving an example. That's a respectable job. It's saving the community, saving your grandmama's house from burning down, your cousin's house. That's something to look up proud to. Or you can learn how to be an auto mechanic. You can fix cars, or you can learn the AI. The military has all the technology, but your score is going to give you a list. The lower your score, the lower your list get. If you score a high score, you can sit down and look at all of it.
Yeah.
And you go off the training. They're gonna, and this is the military. It's not like college. It's the greatest thing about military. You sit in class early. You go out and learn how to do exactly what you talked about in the book. And if your butt can read, which you should be working on that, you'll be able to go out here and apply it. Even if it's flying drones, you read it in the book. The book will show you how to break it down, take it apart, and put it back together. And then they're going to take you outside to that device that you just read, and they're going to break it into sections. They ain't going to do it all in one day. It might be 1 second. Look, 2 screws, and y'all might spend 5 hours on that. 2 screws right there, because those are the most important. And you're going to go back in, you're going to do it, you're going to read again when they move to the next 4 screws, okay? Boom, boom, boom. They're going to have you practice, and if you fail, they're going to practice you some more and retest you until you pass. I think you got like 10 times.
Okay.
They figure out the 10 times, if you ain't learned, then you shouldn't even be in the service anyway.
Okay. Listen.
See how the military break at Twitch that you got out of you? See, it's a good thing, you know what I'm saying? But as far as the level and discourse of, how you look and stuff, it's very seldom today. It's very seldom. So just do your thing, do your business, and come out and treat people right, man. It'll bless you all the way through your life. It don't matter.
All the way through your life. Okay, listen, man. I really do thank you so much. Your valuable time here and your time that you spent, in the battlefield areas, wherever that might have been, whatever it looked like the experience was during that time. But I just want to thank you. It's not a joke for people to be fighting in a war that they didn't start. And that's a key piece. We didn't start it. I remember You know, it was Muhammad Ali who said he was not going to Vietnam because he ain't got nothing against the Vietnamese. You know, but that was back then. You know, but
All right.
now but not now. Now the word different. He said, "I'm not going to fight nobody that I ain't got nothing against." You know, but I'm not trying to incite anything. I'm just saying that these are some of the various you know, approaches that we have to life. But I really do thank you for yours and for your willingness to go and to represent your country, bring freedom to the world. Listen, we're going to shut it down now, and I really want to thank you. So, any last words of wisdom, Trey, that you would like to leave to the audience? There are those that are online and those that will share it around the world, and you know, anything that you'd like to share, leave with them. You know, leave with us really as we close it out.
Just a few things. I want to shout out to all the Aquarius, February for me. Shout out to all my Aquarian family. Black History Month. Support each other. Support your family. Love those that love you. Continue to grow. Don't be afraid. The world is yours. Treat people right. Pray. Meditate. Just do everything that is required to just live out your days in a peaceful manner. That is a part of you and your family. Other than that, I appreciate you, Dr. Kidd, you know, for bringing me up, man, just thinking about me. You know, I hope I help somebody, you know, like I said, you know. So I don't know, man. I'm always live, man. I'm happy, you know,
Yeah.
happy married. So hey,
It was,
love everybody.
so Pat Williams is very informative, interesting, and informative. You know. So people, you know, and you know, some great information. We thank you. So people, thank you for that, and also not only for the time you spent in the military, but for the time you just took with us, because you could be doing a lot of other things right now. So regardless of that, we just want to thank you and thank you for those words of wisdom. I mean, some very insightful things that you just left us with. That a lot of us young brothers and even, you know, old brothers like me, if we continue to do some of those things, man, our lives will be better, not only for ourselves, but we will also become our brother's keeper. We will help somebody along the way, because we all need some help along the way. That's why we call it the shake up. When we shake people out of their lethargy and say, hey, look at this, try to see it in another way. When you see it another way, you get a different view of yourself, different view of the world, and a different view of how you need to treat people in the world. Trey, thank you so much, sir. Wonderful. And listen, we'll try to get you back again at some other time, man, because you know you were good for us, very knowledgeable young man. And I thank oops, excuse me. And I thank you so very, very much. Well, thank you, my friends and folks, and everybody that's out there. That's it. It was a very good program this evening. We had our Trey, you know, a veteran who did paid his dues, and he was willing to come online and talk very candidly about his life and about military life and life outside the military, and just a very kind of a global, systemic, holistic view of you know, of the information that he shared with us and how it can help us. So I just want to thank you. Listen, I want you to do a couple of things for me, okay? And this is it. And this is it. You know, would like for you to like, follow, share, and subscribe. Like, follow, share, and subscribe. That is the lifeblood of this program, because we have so many people that come on from week to week. And we do appreciate those of you that come on from one week to the other. Even sometimes when electronics don't work right, you have never abandoned us. And I want to let you know that we appreciate you. I'm not going to try to flack on you. I'm just going to say, listen, keep up the good work. Like, share, follow, and subscribe. You will pass some good information on to somebody else. And those of you that are watching, that are here so faithful, listen, let me put a little challenge out to you, okay? Those of you that are online with us every week, and those of you who will get it when it's shared, why don't you just email drkidspeaks@gmail.com, and my team will get you on the program. Nothing that you can say, okay, will be challenged and make you look like you don't know what you're talking about, because I will tell you, if you experience it, then you're the only one who knew it. You know about that, okay? So we want to see some of you that are there online every week. Just come on. Just call. Just email drkidspeaks@gmail.com, and we will get you on. You can come on camera, you can come off camera, but we just want to have your wisdom. See, when you learn from us, you get to know more about us, you get to know about the world, but we want to learn from you so that we can enlarge our territory, as they say in the spiritual world. Okay, so thank you so much. Thanks much again to our guests. And I really want to thank my engineers back there who make sure that we get on from week to week. Sometimes I don't thank them enough, but I really do want to thank you, everyone that made this program possible. And we'll see you again on next week when we'll have another good program for you. So like, share, subscribe, and follow. Get some more people to come on. Thank you so much. See you all on next week. Be blessed and have a good night.